G'day team. This video is diving into a concept that worked wonderfully well for me in my golf career, and I think it's something that you can do as well, which will really help your game in all sorts of areas just by this one small little concept. So you'll be able to see my little mate Chase, who's now +5 handicapper. He's playing #1 ranked junior in Australia, and he's doing really well, and he does this game regularly, and I did this in my own game. So I'll tell you what it is. It's basically putting to a tee on the putting green. It's pretty simple. It's a much smaller target than the real hole. And what that means is that trying to hit the tee instead of hitting into a hole is a hell of a lot harder. And it might seem pretty silly and stupid, but there's a bunch of reasons why this works really well. So my story, the first time I heard of this, I was probably missing a putt inside 4 or 5 feet on tour probably every round. And it was obviously costing me a hell of a lot of money. And I was missing cuts and I wasn't making any money in pro-ams and things like that. It was very annoying. It was on average about, if it wasn't every round, every second round at least. And you can't really afford to be doing that at that level. So I learned this concept of putting to a tee in practice instead of a hole, and I started using it. So the first one was I got to start from 2 foot around the hole, which is basically the length from the putter head to the bottom of the grip on your putter, right? Which is nothing. And I thought I should be able to get every one of those. I'm tour pro. I should be able to do that. Anyway, I got 12 out of 20 putted from all the way around a hole in a circle. And I only got 12 out of 20 from 2 feet. And it just showed up how bad I was at that. But the big thing I learned was I needed to be far more accurate with my lining up of the line on the ball that I was using. And that I also actually needed to read a little bit of break into a 2-foot putt, because it's only a tiny little tee like that I've got to hit. So I've got half a golf ball to play with, not half a hole anymore. And then I went to 3 feet, and then I practiced that for every day for a month. And I would do it once, twice, 3, 5 times in a day. And I became pretty good at it. I was probably on average 17 out of 20 from 3 foot on a bit of a slope, 1 to 2 degree slope to make it a bit harder. And then I didn't feel, though, when I was playing as though my putting was getting any better. I felt like I was still pushing putts and pulling putts and misreading them and all that. But then I had a look at my stats. I hadn't missed a putt inside 3 feet in a month. And I really hadn't missed one inside 6 feet very much at all. Like, that percentage had gone up dramatically. And it didn't make sense to me. And then I thought, hang on a minute. No, what I was doing, I was pulling and pushing putts, but they would still easily go into a hole, but they would have missed the tee. And so there was a few things that started happening. It was, number one, I could actually see an imaginary tee at the part of the hole where I wanted the ball to go in. And I could also really feel the difference between the face angle on these short putts. And it also meant I got far more aware that I did need to read 3, 4, 5 foot putts a lot more. And all of that added up to feeling better about short putts, but a putt to a hole from 6 foot felt probably more like a putt to a tee from 3 foot. And when you're feeling like the hole is huge compared to the thing you're normally aiming at, it's amazing how your confidence goes. It's a real true inner confidence. It's not trying to fake your way into it. It's actually, you've trained so much harder that when you go out on the golf course and the hole's bigger, it's easier, and it is easier. And that's one of the big things that happens. One of the other benefits too is that when you're playing a pro-am, you're generally playing in a shotgun start, and there's 60, 70 people on a putting green and only 3 holes to putt to. So if you go and put a tee down somewhere on a part of the green where there's no one around, you get to have that space all to yourself. So have a look at the video of Chase doing this. I challenge you to try it. And if you went and you said to yourself, right, you know what, I'm never going to putt to a hole again on the practice putting ground, I'm just going to putt to a tee, I will guarantee you will be one hell of a putter, and you'll be maximizing your scores when you get on the putting green. And one of the funny things too is that when you get really good at short putts, it helps every other part of your game, because now you don't have to get your first putt so close to make sure you 2-putt, which means you don't even have to hit your approach too close, because you'll only 2-putt, you're not going to 3-putt as often, which means you probably don't even have to hit the green. You probably chip away and still make a lot of putts. It means you probably don't even have to hit fairway anymore, because you can hit in the trees, punch it out the front of the green, chip it up close and make a putt. Yeah, it might be bogeys or whatever it is for you, but I will guarantee you that if you actually get better inside that 5 foot, 6 foot range, you're actually going to improve every single part of your game. So check out the video. I hope it helps you. Let me know how you go, and give it a try for a good solid month and see what happens to your total number of putts. Cheers. Here's a habit to get into for the rest of your golfing life. If you can hit a tee from 3 feet like 17 times in a row, or 17 times out of 20 on a little breaking putt, it's probably got 2 degrees slope on it. That tee is so small, you've only got half a golf ball to play with. You got to read it. Oh, just got it. If you do this the rest of your life, the hole ends up looking like a black hole that just sucks the ball in. And then the other thing is, when there's 20,000 people on the putting green all putting the 3 holes, You don't have to worry about any of that. Oh, there we go. If you're enjoying what you're watching and you want to come and work with me in person, come and join me at the Gold Coast here in Australia. Have a golf holiday and break that bag golf and play the golf of your dreams in the space of 3 days. All the details are down below on my website. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Cheers.